on paper.
There's about 5 storylines. I don't even know how many storylines I don't even understand. I don't even know what I don't understand. Welcome to our first movie review. And I'm surprised it's taken us this long to do one, Tom, because I thought that's why we started.
It's not first. It's first one we've done it proper. Like we've actually tried to sit down about it.
Yeah.
We did Sausage Party about 4 years ago, didn't we?
That's true.
I did not think Sausage Party would get a mention in the TENET review, to be really honest. But there you go. Nice shout out for Sausage Party.
Yeah. Right. Should we...
definitely ties in.
Should we get down to... we'll do our opinions first. Spoiler.
We legitimately haven't spoken about this, have we? At this point, pretty much.
So I saw it on Thursday, I think, and you saw it last night.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do spoiler-free reactions or whatever first. Go over our thoughts on it and all that, and whether you should watch it. But then we'll proper dive in afterwards.
Yeah, that's all going to be self-evident. But yes, the first part is.
Yeah, well, I liked it. Like even just from the pictures, I was like, yeah, I don't even have to see it. It's going to be mint. Do you think the trailer was good enough for the film? Like, because
the final one, no. The final one, no. It was like 3 minutes. That annoyed me.
I don't think it warranted the second trailer.
I know what you mean. Because it showed as they got on, they got worse. But I think one and done for Nolan is usually enough. Because usually you just see from Christopher Nolan, you're like, yes, happy days, Silver's place.
Yeah.
But I was in from day dot. As soon as I saw that, I tried to find the article I saw where it announced what it was going to be. Because I used to Google, I used to F5 Google every day Christopher Nolan, see if he was announcing what he was doing. I think it was like 2018 or something. I'll have to Google it.
Dunkirk and that.
Yeah. When they said it was a like time traveling thing across espionage, multiple countries and everything, I was like, holy shit.
I remember you telling me that, and when you said something like it's something to do with espionage, and I just thought of tall buildings. Like that's something that just makes me think of espionage, and that's like the first part of the trailer, isn't it?
Is that not to do with Nightfire? There's something to do with James Bond Nightfire in that.
Probably.
Is it corporate espionage? One of the levels you can do or something, where it's in a big building. That's what it is.
That's probably where. But anyway,
I thought going into it that obviously it's going to be deliberately complicated because he's getting sort of cocky now, and with Dunkirk working as well as it did with the time-wise a bit. Yeah. Interstellar and Inception all in a row have been loosely related to time because he's fascinated by it, isn't he?
Well, he's making his own brand. He's his own brand.
Yeah. So, the casting surprised me, not in a bad way. I was happy with every choice in the film, which I don't think I can say that for every Nolan film. I think in every Nolan film there's at least one casting choice that irks me off. Yeah. But in this one, it's faultless for me.
There wasn't that many main cast, really, was there?
There's about 5 people in it as well, to be fair, which helps. But I mean, I had 24 hours to digest it. Those are less than you, but I'm still.
What were you thinking when you left the cinema? When you walked out, like when his name comes up and you got to stand up and walk out. What was going through your head then?
First thing was to make sure I remembered my hot dog wrapper, because it said at the start to take your rubbish with you. So that's the immediate first thing, was don't forget your hot dog wrapper. And I'd done that thing with, like where you open a ketchup sachet and you'd stick it to the inside of the car, but I didn't want to get my thumb in that. So that's what my brain was at. But that's going to be my Rotten Tomatoes review, by the way. Conscious of getting a ketchup on my thumb at the end. Leaving it, I've had time to look at it now, and I'm more happy with it. But leaving it, I was infinitely more happy with the first 2 acts than the third act, and I had so many questions about the third act to the point where I couldn't garner as much enjoyment from it, as you'll see with movie review 2 for the scenario that I vote for being the Prestige, keep it the Nolan theme.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I wanted to do Prestige third and do a campaign second, just completely flip it from Tenet and do the campaign.
Yeah, okay.
But with anything Nolan related, you've got to go back and you've got to do your research and everything. So I've had time for it to digest, to sit with me. for things to click in my own way, because they couldn't click in the pace with Nolan set for the film, because it was a frenetic
I
paced
don't think it was
film
meant
as
to,
it
though. I
was.
don't think anyone can walk out of that film and go, yeah, I don't need to ever think about that again.
Exactly. And I think if you see, I've got to dive really deep to find a lot of positive things about this film, because surface level, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, being the industry that you're from, everyone is whining and complaining like hell about the sound mixing, especially at the start.
Yeah. No,
It
I
was
thought that was just me when I was listening to it, and I'm never one to criticize it because I know how hard it is.
no, I
But
know, and I know
part of it is because they were speaking through masks a lot of the time, and you can't.
exactly, but yeah, that's kind of passable. But the bits they're all complaining about is stuff at the start and in the opening 20 minutes. And if you cast your mind back before I carry on, do you know Interstellar?
Yeah.
Obviously, the bit at the end of that where it's kicking off and they've got Coward playing, where Matt Damon's turned, Chastain's trying to set fire to feel like loads of stuff's happening.
Yeah.
When she runs out and she's speaking to him from Spider-Man 3, going, solved it, it's in the watch, or what? Spoiler from Stella, it's in the watch, whatever. At that point, the music is so loud and the sound is so loud that you can hardly hear what they're speaking. And I like that as an artistic choice. I thought it was quite like with the end of Inception, they just have the music of time to sort of carry with the film as the best, so you don't need dialogue at that point.
Yeah.
But this was just weird, like the bit with the train. And the Ukrainian blokes torturing him, and they're speaking it, and it's just like, you might as well just be saying now, mate, because all I can hear is that train just changed up into fifth in corner, and you can't hear anything.
I know, yeah, but there's things like that he might have thought, I need the train to be loud, but it's not massively important that everyone knows what he's saying, because he's like that scene, you never thought, yeah, he's gonna die here. For the first 15 minutes, it's not really.
I know, mate, I know, but it's there is some crucial
spoiler territory now. Yeah.
Oh, we need to do a spoiler warning. What's the key word? We need to do every total scenario movie review we do. There needs to be a predetermined code word that appears on the screen.
Yeah.
To determine that it's spoilers henceforth.
Waffle
this week. Okay. Code word waffle. Okay. A lot happened in that first part that I completely went over my head for half of the whole film, and then only when I got back, slept on it and watched all the videos and read the comments, that it sort of dawned on me what had happened. So I feel like,
in general terms of something, you're not happy with how you don't think, comparing it to all action films across the board, it's just so different. It's like when I came out of that film, I was like, I felt like, when you're at school and you didn't listen as much as you could have, and you felt like you had homework, and you're like, shit, I need to go back and do that.
I say yeah, but no for me, but yeah.
Yeah,
I had no mates though, so
sure.
I know what you're saying, and I feel like this film's immediately like Mad Max Fury Road, where it's just instantly within the shout of top 10 action movies ever, irrespective of contenders. It's a slow burn. So many parts. It's a slow burner, but it's the payoff is so worth it. Like I think possibly my favourite 30 minutes of the film is the bit in Estonia and Tallinn, because I've always wanted to go to Tallinn anyway, the lads night out or whatever, but that highway chase is one of the best things I've ever seen on film.
Oh, where the goosh and side on.
When they're driving and they go, that's not. I've got a list of quotes here that I wanted to bring up with you.
Or is it say like B 5 seconds or something? That bit where they're giving each other times. Where
he set them all off and they're all like random next. But the bit where he gets like interference on the chatter and he's like, I call him John. He's called the protagonist, but I call him John because that's the actor's name. He goes something like, what started they speaking Estonian? He goes, no, it's backwards. And they both look forward, and that fucking Q5's doing like 90 in reverse coming towards them. And I was like,
yeah, that's one of them things that stands out when you see that. It's like, it's kind of like a crowd of people all walking that way, but there's one guy walking towards you. You can see him like that. That's what that shot was like with that car.
Locking eyes with it, yeah.
I thought as well, imagine how many stunt drivers they got for this and how much driving, like really close call driving.
Was it 5 weeks of that highway they had?
Yeah.
5 weeks of shooting?
Yeah.
I want to find out a lot more about each individual shot because I know a lot of it was practical, or pretty much all of it. I want to know which parts were like where they've reversed, for example, or which parts were where they've driven forward then reversed it in the film afterwards.
Well, those
Because
bits.
a lot of those stunt drivers would be hella incredibly talented to do some of the stuff that happened.
Yeah, there was one guy who was reversing, matching a car that was doing like 60.
Yeah, handling
That
wise, that
alone,
seems exactly.
that alone's like a 0.2 differential on Rotten Tomatoes, regardless, isn't it? But
Yeah,
there was a bit of the battle at the end, Tom. I don't know if you remember. There was people running forwards, but there's also people running backwards, and like, well, that's obviously you can't do two shots and merge them like that because it was moving as well. So you have to like. I bet they were all mint of running backwards by the end of the film.
Nolan is my hero, right? He is the complete and utter just preeminent genius in the world. But there's always a couple of things that annoy me with his films. And I think we should both get those out of the way now to then focus on all the amazing things that happen in that film and then discuss it. Because for me, I just want to put a disclaimer out there. I've not managed to do my ranking yet, in my Nolan ranking. Still purely because I need to see Insomnia and Following as well, because I've still not seen those films.
Yeah.
But it scares me how much I like this film, like, the more I think about it. But with any Nolan film, there is a couple of critiques. It's the same with all of them, to be fair. There's always one real... There's always one... Yeah. There's always one really shitty line of dialogue, really cringy, like, stupid, and like could nobody have just gone, let's not have that. And then there's always one bit of action that's intercut that takes me out of it for like 1 second because it's really like poorly done.
Do you mean between two places?
No, as in like in the middle of an action scene, there's always something that looks terrible that takes me out of it for a minute. But like those two nitpicks are consistent with the last 4 films he's done.
Well, the best thing
examples. Okay, Dark Knight Rises. Okay, bad line being, so you came back to die. No, came to stop you. Like worst line in history. Yeah, and the bad bit of acting and violence and action in that film is when the main sort of copper, the dude with the blonde hair, goes, "I'm going to catch the bad man," the posh guy.
Yeah.
He gets shot by some sort of turret off a tank, and the shot of him dead afterwards is just lying like he's been sweet-chinned on the floor, and his suit is immaculate. There's no blood. He's not sweaty. He's just done. Yeah, that's that. In Interstellar, Cooper, it's not possible. No, it's necessary. That line annoys me. And I can't remember the bad bit of acting is in that, but then like, yeah, there's this.
I get what you mean. It takes you out of it. It's not that it's horrific and it's the worst.
Not horrific. It's just
compared to everything else, it doesn't fit in.
It's just because it probably would work well in a good film, but because everything else Nolan does is just beyond any sort of metric I'm capable of measuring with, it just brings me back down to earth for a second.
Well, everything else Tom, and everything he's done and what he's about, he's clever. He's thinks everything through to the nth degree.
Yep.
But I don't think he's got the best comedic banter. Do you know what I mean?
You know what? I would have agreed to that had I not seen Tenet, but I think some of the banter that Robert Pattinson had in this film was some of the funniest ones in the whole thing.
No, I'm not saying he's got zero game. I mean, he's not as clever as he is funny. No, the other way around. Do you know what I mean?
That's ironic you got that wrong.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm sat here and he's just made 200 mil.
I know what you're saying, mate. I know what you're saying. I think this is one of the better characters he's had with Robert Pattinson. Where he's like, "Come on, boys, don't let it go cold." And all like trying to eat curry at gunpoint, whatever it was. Yeah. That was funny. But
Pattinson's like,
he's got game.
Forced to be reckoned with now, isn't
he? He has been for a while, mate. On the radar. Watch Good Time. Another one, top scenario, Good Time. With the dudes who did Uncut Gems, he is amazing in that.
Okay.
Absolutely amazing in that.
I'll mention that to me. Performances across the board, are you happy with them?
I think I am. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking of acting. I think the only one who isn't like just completely serviceable in this film and amazing, like Branagh obviously steals it. If you give Branagh a bit of rope to be a nutter, he just absolutely nails it every time. So that bit where he like spits in the face and he's like we said on the phone, didn't we, when we spoke just after the film, when he catches eyes with him, when the inverted
Yeah,
guy,
John
and
goes
he's
to
like,
the inverted. No,
yeah,
yeah, because John's in the. If I get it right, so Branner's in that car. The backwards one was there, and then John was in the Beamer on the right, wasn't he?
yeah, yeah,
But then he goes into the inverted timeline. Then he's in the one in the middle as well. Kind
yeah,
of across, sees other John, and he just goes. And I swear, I
yeah.
thought he was looking at me when I was like, Jesus,
He
like
looked directly into my soul when that happened. Yeah,
I'd love to know like how much you got paid just for that look. Like if
oh, I
you work
know.
it out, like dividing it up, like that's a good 200 quid.
If you pro rata his salary from the film per
Yeah,
minute of shots taken, then
yeah, exactly.
Again, I'm not qualified to discuss their acting because they're all amazing. The only thing that took me out of the film, again, acting wise, was when Kat was lying on the thing and in the boat. And I'm going to call him Arbats because he was called Arpats, not Arpatson, but it's Arbats because he's Batman now. Um, they're basically trying to say, like, what the shit, what's the end game here? What's he trying to do? And they were basically saying, if he's saying entropy is flowing forward at this point on the planet.
Yeah.
If this algorithm, which is a poor use for it, it's a misnomer really, it should be called a device or something like that, because algorithms, like, it's the device that contains the algorithm, but if that gets sort of unleashed and its full power wielded, then the flow of entropy will go from being forward to backwards, because there's too much entropy going backwards, it will sort of override it that way. And he goes, basically, every living thing in the universe will die. And she went, even my son. Yes, love.
Yeah.
Yes, your son.
Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, yeah, you deserve to die now because he's got a thick mum.
That's there's so many lines in films like that where I just want to just will fail that.
Yeah,
just punch. If I could punch that line, I would.
Right. So you went into some big words there, and obviously I like to think that I'm not stupid, but I'm obviously not very clever. There's bits when people try and explain things, and I'm like, explain it like I'm 5 off Reddit, and I really want you to. John say stuff like, "Bloke does this, wants that, goes there, does this." Can you do
I've
that?
started writing it, but I won't unleash it just yet because I need to reword it because the third word was slag. So
Right. Okay.
I need to change it. But I have got some things I want to show you that will help. But what my plan is, because I still don't fully understand the film, and I'm using multiple different sources to make sure that
What do you understand then?
that's what I'm going to show you. But what I'm going to say to you, once I've got my full understanding of the film, where I'm happy that I consistently know everything about it, I need to go and see it again. I will then write it in my own words, in about 100 words, just so it's concise and it's like.
I remember when you were trying to explain to me Parasite on one of our podcasts, and you're like, simple thing, dad, mum, like, no, what is it? Brother, sister, dad, mum, shop, on the street, like literally just missing out all the connective words and just using all the important ones.
Well, yeah, exactly. Just noun everything. No adjectives are out. Just crack on with nouns. But it's hard to do that when I quite don't fully understand everything about it. So I'll just show you
what bits were you in? What bits in the film that hit you, and you were like, I don't know what happened.
A lot of the stuff at the start, the opera thing, completely threw me because
at that point you're like going in dark, aren't you?
Well, you've got we know Washington at that point is CIA, right?
Yeah.
We know that they're trying to extract information from that guy who's been made. So they're all in that van waiting for Rob.
Sorry, go back.
That VIP ambassador guy who's been made has been found out that he's dodgy, or they've discovered that he's talking to CIA or whatever. Basically, the guy's
just the villain.
So let's see if your interpretation is the same as this. So when he's sat in the van, Ros's rock up, yeah, and they wait until they come to see who arrives. And if you notice, there's 4 sets of individual patches down. So they go, it's the FBI, get the FBI badges on your arm, go in, like sort of go in with them.
Yeah.
I just thought they were terrorists. I thought the plutonium was just, they wanted a bomb because terrorists like bombs. And they went in, and I thought I was just going in the guise of that. But I've now found out that it was Branner had sent the terrorists back into. I'll see if you think the same thing as me here, by the way. Because what was your interpretation of the opera scene at the start? We'll try. Let's try and spend 10 minutes on the main parts of this film now, and see if we can get it.
So,
a good word, by the way, a good point. I've got a bit of trivia on my screen here as well. TENET, 10. It was 10 minutes at the end, backwards and forwards on the watches, wasn't it, to align to the thing?
All right.
And that's 10. It's
Well,
like
so I
flop and
tried,
flick.
to get our channel a bit of publicity, doing a bit of comments on some Tenet reviews, and I went.
Mhm.
I think it was John Campier's. I commented saying, "Well, for me, it was a definite 10 out of 10. I don't think it's got any likes yet."
No, it's like negative in negative infinity.
Yeah. Well, I remember the opera scene. Obviously, they get out of the van, but they look to be on the same side as the. What are you laughing at?
Somewhere in the opera scene, I just remembered. Keep going.
And I
Keep
think,
going.
like, I don't know what the real police were doing there, but they were obviously after this one bloke. I think the real police were just.
Oh,
Well,
I
I don't
think.
know, Tom. When I was watching that, I thought, I don't know what
Did you laugh out loud how overly aggressive the terrorists have been with the orchestra people who clearly pose no
Oh
threat?
God, I
Like,
literally the cinema was quiet. I was pissing myself because
uh,
there was no point. He got like he pushed like a violin to the
there,
ground.
there,
And like,
there,
you're not
there, were-
armed.
there was two people. Like, there's two moments. One lady had dropped her like cello on the floor. This guy with like size 15 army boots just put his fucking foot through it. I pissed the time of that.
That's
But
like
there's some other
down the shitter, isn't it?
there's some other guy, like they were walking on the stage just firing like Kalashnikovs into space or whatever. And this guy sort of looks a bit scared and he gets like a bassoon and just twats him in the throat with it. Like
I would have let him crack on. That's like
it's so out of order. But yeah, so she hard codes the algorithm on how to get this death device thing into these 9 objects, splits them up and sends them back in time, buries them, fucking makes it
does she
impossible.
not want people to use them?
Yeah, because it scared the shit out of her. She was just it's like the people who discovered the nuclear bomb were like, this is going to end the world.
You don't
Right?
discover it, you somehow make it, don't you?
Yeah, but it's always been possible for nuclear bombs to happen, but we discovered the technology to do so.
Right.
Yeah, it's not like they've not invented
Not
nuclear.
just walk down the shop and seen it behind a bin, like, oh.
No, yeah, there's not that discovered, but yeah. So there's some people in the future who are the baddies in the future, where the Earth's gone to shit, it's barren, nobody's got any food, overpopulated, whatever. They don't care about the grandfather paradox. They want to save their present, so they want to alter the course of the past completely. So they want to like basically end the past to see if it'll improve their future. It's like a Hail Mary attempt because the Earth's fucked anyway. So what they do is they find the man is in the right place at the right time, where one of the things was buried in Ukraine, hence young Kenneth Branagh. He opens that crate, doesn't he? Instead of it being it's just gold and a letter with his name on it. And he's like, what the hell are the chances of this? It's got my name on it. It's got instructions on what to do, how to get it all.
And that was one part of the algorithm, was it?
Yes, yeah. The algorithm being one part of the 9, yeah. So he then goes around and gets everything. Yeah. Timeline is so sketchy, which we need to cover in the in-depth video. But basically, at the end, I was so shocked when it came about that John David Washington was actually the main guy behind it all. He employed himself.
Yeah.
It's so confusing, man. It's so amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So can we save a lot of this for an in-depth one? I'll watch it again.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Just general thoughts on like,
I mean,
in the new Nolan film.
It screams to me that it's the influences from James Bond and stuff, where it's just like 20 different locations in the same film. They're all beautiful. That Amalfi Coast, where he's in that restaurant drinking that red wine and stuff that they got at the cliffside, that was beautiful.
I felt like that was episode 1 of Star Wars.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? Yeah, like Naboo-ish sort of situation. Yeah. But for me, it's again new territory for Nolan, which I love. I love that he's just gone, we need to show that this is endangering the whole world. So globetrotting, in a sense, sort of covers that. It shows that there's peril in pretty much every country, right? It's going all over the place.
Well, when you say new territory for Nolan, I think it's new territory for film.
Oh, completely. Absolutely. I don't understand how... I've got a pretty bad inferiority complex anyway, but I don't understand how directors are going to make films going forward where the poster is just a bloke with a single gun and then driving around in like Volvos and stuff like normal. Like, how's that going to hold up to a van being boxed on the motorway with a guy on a ladder whilst the car's coming in reverse. And when
Think how long it must have took to shoot that scene.
I can't wait to watch all these videos. That's what I love about Nolan. It's just a treasure trove. Once the film's over, you can go and watch all the videos, read the scripts, read the score. Not being out until Tuesday is a massive donkey hoof to the go-nuts, by the way, because the first thing I wanted to do was get in my car and put it on. But
I put it on, I was like, why isn't it on Spotify? I was like, ready to kick off. There was a couple of score bits in that I turned to Dom and I was like, and one was very early on. It was when all the coppers get inside the opera bit, but not where all the crowd are. It's just, where they're lining up and it's like, right,
lining up in threes.
Door, 3, 2, 1, and then the camera pans back and it's just. But my main thing that's doing my head in now is I think there's so many people who are going to be like, it's shit because I didn't understand it. And obviously I'm like that now, but I'm like, I want to understand it.
I've seen that a lot.
Shit because I don't understand it. I think it's too good. If you get me, it's not that it's shit. It's just it's better than me.
It's definitely a dividing factor in that nobody's going to understand this first time. It's possibly, arguably, the most complicated film ever made, right?
Yeah.
Ever. So it's definitely dividing people in that it's 50% or whatever is saying, holy shit, I don't understand that. I would like to rewatch it and find out. And the other half are insulted that it was that complicated and they don't want to know anything about it anymore. I've seen so many posts where it's like, I've loved Nolan all my life. This film was cut over complicated to the point where it was on purpose. Like the sound mixing was terrible.
Yeah,
he's done it so complicated on purpose that it's
don't ever go in for trying to break.
Exactly. People are saying it's unwatchable because it just doesn't make sense. It's unwatchable.
They're unbearable.
I know for a fact that we'll get people will rewatch it. Give the guys in America, because it's not in America, is it? So all the content we're reviewing for it is out in some states, but all the content we're reviewing for it afterwards, people like me and you who want to find out more and dig in deeper into it, it's only European markets and Asian markets that are able to do that at the moment. But once America gets opened up and like your new rock stars and all shift decks or whatever can have a good crack at it and watch it 20 times, and then how juicy them videos are going to be. It's making me happy thinking about it. But I think overall, I genuinely think I'm going to enjoy it second time round.
I think
because more second time round.
Yeah,
because a lot happened that's that quick. Like I managed to not go to the loo during the whole film, but so much happened. Every single frame was directly relevant to the film. Like
I don't feel like there was any scenes that didn't need to be in there. I felt like there needed to be more.
Yeah, I'm with you on that front, definitely. If there's a director's cut of this, it's like 4 hours. I'd watch the hell out of
that.
Yeah.
But in terms of being as general as possible, Tom, Christopher Nolan's newest film, did it let you down in any way?
Not at all. The feelings I had watching this film were some parts I expected based on trailers, based on doing reviews. But as with Nolan, it's almost like those graphs that just go up and up and up and up and up and up like that, never meet them. Like exponential, like asymptotic, that don't actually meet the axis. Like when one twist will happen and you think that's the twist of the film and that's enough for you, and then there's about four more in about the last 10 minutes of the film, and he always does that. He always accelerates his twists and turns and stuff right to the end, which to the point of where it's like 12:30 and you're knackered and it's like, what is happening here? Oh my lord.
Do you not think, like, when you hear of people like breaking records or like jumping from, I don't know why this came to mind, but the guy who jumped from space, like the atmosphere.
Felix Dudar. Yeah.
But like, that's obviously a massive achievement. But Nolan has gone from, I could do this espionage type film. Wait, let me start writing some ideas down. Let me write a script. Let me film it. Let me edit it. Oh yeah, this is like the most complicated film ever made. Yeah, he's done that.
It's marvelous. It's marvelous to think that that's come from one man's head.
Exactly. And it's so rare to get original films now that aren't based off someone else's work from hundreds of years ago, like a book or something. He's just
Well, it's not even that. It's just rehashing the old shit from 20 years ago. That
yeah.
was all right, and it was serviceable. But it's hopefully, being the author that he is, this will inspire a lot of people similar to us. Going, I'm going to think outside the box, because if it isn't for him, it's just going to be the same stuff churned out every week, isn't it, or every month? Like what we're going to see the other day that made me really upset that they'll do a reboot in it again. Um,
Oh, I think I saw this as
there,
well.
there was talks of Warner Brothers asking him for an Interstellar sequel. It doesn't need a sequel. Stop asking for sequels for films that are cut and dry.
Exactly, but that's not the filmmakers that are doing that. It's the money, it's the business.
It's the production side of it. Do you know, before they got Tom Holland involved, they wanted to do an Aunt May spin-off of Spider-Man. It's like, one, why? Two, where's the artistic credit in doing that? Three, who the fuck's going to watch that? What's it going to be about? Washing up. Got a chop.
Yeah, washing up. Fucking hell.
The Aunt May prequel 30 years before Peter Parker was born. Ooh.
Yeah. Shows they get to get pregnant. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just there's.
Well, so Nolan doing original films like people like Edgar Wright, Baby Driver, that just came out of nowhere. Like Rian Johnson, Knives Out. There's
you know what I mean?
There's only a few I can think of that are complete and utter original ideas
That have done well, like
bank on. Well, obviously, there's a hell of a lot more I don't know about, but
there's so much in this film that is. It's just I've not been able to think about anything else since, which usually is the case with Nolan. It wasn't so much with Dunkirk, because once you'd got over the order in which it happened on each of the three levels, you knew about it because it's a historical fact. It happened. There's not as much nuance to it as there is with this and your Interstellars or whatever. But I'm very happy
to realize. But I don't realize things like that dead quick when I'm watching a film. I don't think about the bigger picture until I take literally every word and every shot by
face value.
Think about the previous scene whilst I'm watching the next one. Unless it's a really simple film, but when it's Nolan, I'm like, I can't miss a word. No,
you can't. There's so many theories going on at the minute. That's the bit I love, and I'm doing it 10 years later with Inception, because who's to say that so and so's interpretation of the film isn't correct if Nolan doesn't think that's what it is? It's not up to him at that point anymore. You know what I mean? He's created the art in its sort of entity like that. Then it's up for us to interpret it, and try to sell it and interpret it any way we want. So I'm very happy that this is very much sort of the genesis of this for me at the moment. That we've just I feel good that we've only just got this now. I'm going to cherish it and build on it and let it grow, see where it takes us.
A lot of films, like a good 70 to 80% of films, it's like when it comes out, it's like there's the film, watch it, and then think about your next one you're going to watch. But Tenet and most of Nolan's films last, I won't dare to say, for your life. You're thinking about it. Obviously, with some films like Interstellar has a definite.
You're thinking about it whilst watching other films.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. It leaves it over to the imagination. I bet Nolan's like, there you go, world, enjoy that.
Yeah, I mean,
have a think about that.
As much as I can't comprehend to be as clever as he is, in my mind, there's no way he wasn't sat at home eating cocktail sausages and drinking a pint of Heineken the night before it come out, going, "Yeah, get ready."
Yeah, sit back and watch the world blow up.
Yeah. I don't understand how all these. Apparently, it's his most expensive film ever, budget-wise.
Yeah, because it's all practical, isn't it?
Probably shipping the whole crew to the Amalfi Coast for 5 weeks for 2 minutes of the film is probably not a great idea. But I mean, they went to Estonia.
On the highway as well for 5 weeks.
Yeah, they went to Estonia, Vietnam, Italy, Norway, London, possibly somewhere else I'm spacing on, but man, holy shit.
There wasn't a lot of studio stuff in this, was there?
Yeah, where do you get a green screen and all this? It's all open, isn't it? It's all out and about.
Another thing, I think it says it in the 9-minute featurette that's online now, behind the scenes one. And no, it might have been an interview, I think. Nolan was like, yeah, I just wanted to inspire people like I was when I was watching Bond when I was a young kid. I was like, so he's just said that like it's literally nothing, like he's just sort of murmured it, and he's like, he
He said
literally
that
has changed action films going forward from it.
he said that
He's
like he's
done what
just
he
drawn
said.
it. He's just the way he said it. Because I remember watching the same bit. The way he said it was like, I've drawn a crayon painting. Like, here you go, have a look.
Yeah.
He's watched a Roger Moore James Bond and come up with Tenet.
Yeah.
Like,
so Tom, we watched Tenet. We're gonna be like, I want to make a film that is more
like
proven than Tenet. We should make a parody film and just make it make even less sense than that.
I mean, thing is though, it would still make more sense. We're not capable of coming up with something that wouldn't make less sense in this on paper.
It's about 5 storylines, or I don't even know how many storylines I don't even understand. I don't even know what I don't understand.
Exactly, which is the worst part, isn't it? Do you know, we've worked it out timeline-wise, so, and I think at the end of the film, you know, when Robert Pattinson were all fighting in the desert and shooting nobody, like they were just shooting in the air and stuff.
Yeah.
At that point, in that last 10 minutes, there is, I believe, 6 iterations of Robert Pattinson's character at the same time, being inverted and reversed and whatever.
I think if I was in this film, if this film was real life or whatever, I'd just be like, yeah, mate, it's past as that Gunnar said.
When you're in that meeting with the guy from, what's he called? Where he's like, you guys have got to sit in here for an hour whilst we go and do it. And then you've already done it, so you come out and then you tell us how you've done it, and then we'll go back in time and do it. And it's like, fuck off, mate. It's there, let's go and do it. Like,
yeah. Bring him on, I'm ready.
Yeah.
What this film needed, Tom, I know to fix everyone's problems now. You need, obviously, Robert Pattinson, John David, and the third man would be Neil from Between Us. So Neil can literally question everything they do, and then he'll explain it to him.
I think
Neil's the audience.
I think Neil's a good shout, but you want someone, given the sort of the nature of the main 2 characters and how complex the film is, you need someone who's a hothead, someone who's slightly shorter than the other 2, probably bald, hothead, gets angry the quickest out of anybody in the film. But like they're all talking about, so you need to invert time, and they go, can I hit him now? Like just like someone like Finlay from wrestling or somebody just trying to scrap with everybody, just wrecking it all.
What is what was his thing called?
Shillelagh.
Yeah,
just just trying to kneecap people that aren't even part of it. But, like, just clock it, like, because it said you can't interrupt yourself, can you? Which is besides the point. When like, oh yeah, that reminds me of the opera scene. Do you know the guy who John David is about to get shot by one of these rogue Ukrainian police guys, and then that rogue Ukrainian police guy gets an inverted bullet from like behind the seat through his face.
John, isn't it? Or is it?
No, it's Arvat.
Right.
It's incredible. There's so much to look into it.
But even that bit, so when he has that scrap with that SWAT guy who ends up being him. When that happens, and then I think it's the first time that happens, and then the guy goes like backwards under that shutter, and the shutter shuts. It's like, I want to be able to do that.
I watched that and I was like, please tell me they're going to come back to this at some point, because I feel like what he did didn't warrant that. It's like he probably oversold it. Like, he just sort of, he got elbowed and he just managed to go and just sort of get sent under the thing. But there's not a lot usually with films. I'll try and when you go away from it, you'll be like, oh, I wish they'd done this a certain way. I'm not at the point yet where I can qualitatively say that, because I don't fully understand it still. So I don't know what I'd change yet, because at the minute it could be the best film ever, it could be a piece of shit, I'm not 100% sure. In my mind right now, I'm happy to give this film a very, very solid 8 out of 10. Score's amazing, the film looks beautiful, the action scenes are amazing. The plot makes sense for me at the moment.
What? Right, okay. So, right.
The plot makes... But I don't know whether further work into this film will drag it down to like a 7.5 or straight to a 10. I have no idea yet.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So, on FIFA, when you get a player, so your player at the minute's 80, what's its potential growth?
potential growth is to like 98, but I don't know whether or not he's going to go out on loan to Grimsby for 10 years and get shot in the face. I don't know if that's going to happen
No,
yet.
or he's going to do his ACL in training.
Yeah, or like go to one of them strip clubs in Thailand and get sold in disgrace. So I don't know whether or not it's going to happen yet. I don't know. But I can only see, I'm very confident that further investigation and further rewatches will prove that it has to be in his top three. I just don't know who it displaces at the moment. I don't know which film of Dark Knight, Interstellar, Inception, Dunkirk, I don't know which one of those, as well as this, can't make the top three anymore, which is going to keep me up at night.
As well as
and The Prestige and Memento.
Phil, as well as this film, compared, not so much compared to Nolan's films, but compared to films in general, I think it's purposely a slow burner. I think most of films in the world are like, your initial response is your response forever. I think Tenet's going to take months, if not the rest of the year or whatever, to have its full impact. I think it was made.
Exactly.
I think that's how it was designed to last longer.
And it's the same way with the source material. If the source material is good enough and it's executed right, and people talk about it for a while. Hence why Game of Thrones, people stopped talking about it day one after the finale because it was just poor.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings is still relevant 20 years later.
Yeah.
15, 20 years later. But with this, the reason why it works as a slow burner, the first hour and whatever, is because it had a story to tell. A lot of films that are 90 minutes that open with a car chase and people getting shot, whatever, it's because they had an idea, they fleshed out a 20-page script, and that's all they've got.
Yeah.
This is, I want to know from Nolan himself, which he's probably never going to say, but Inception had been in his mind for 10 years, right?
Yeah, how long?
When he finally made it. Dunkirk's been a passion project of his for a while. Do we really think that he has genuinely gone into this with nothing and then gone, fuck, can I concoct here? And in 2 years, he's made one of the most confusing but biggest and best action set piece films ever.
I find it hard to believe he's got the cab home from Dunkirk premiere and gone on his phone and gone, I've got an idea.
Right, yeah. So I've done War, I've done Magicians.
Yeah, fuck, that's bollocks.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It can only go up from here as well, which is great.
Yeah.
In terms of like the horizon for Nolan, like it's not as if he's done a complete whopper and he's going to lose the budget of these studios or anything like that. They basically gave him, was it 100 mil for this film or whatever, just flat rate up front. Was that Dunkirk? I can't remember. But
one or two on at least.
Imagine working on a Nolan film, mate.
Well, I looked at the crew, and they obviously did crew for whatever country they were in.
I was going to ask you how many units did they have, because if they had one, that's the best
runner job ever. They had about 6 first ADs for each place.
Oh, okay.
Like, obviously, you have Italian-speaking people, or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, even planning that from a production point, like, so they had that freeway for 5 weeks, and out of the film, the freeway probably took up 2-3 minutes of screen time, tops.
Oh, but probably a bit longer, maybe about 10.
No, but no, the freeway bit, the roads before it weren't that freeway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
How many different angles they had on there?
Yeah, but how many times you have to crash that car to get the perfect sort of thing for...
But how many tyres do you reckon he went through for that?
Oh.
Because him at the front was handbrake on, wasn't he?
Yeah. And then just, I mean, I would see the numbers, like the sheet at the end, the spreadsheet at the end, where it's like 50 times Pirellis day one.
Yeah, production coordinators, like, that's probably where all the budget's gone.
Yeah.
Quick fit.
But it's almost, I mean, I've watched a lot of reviews of this film already to sort of garner people's interpretations of the film, and I think everyone's in the same boat, mate. It's all well and good trying to do a review of this film at the moment, but nobody's in a position to do so.
No.
There's no.
I don't feel like I've seen it. I said on the way out, I said I know less about it now having watched it. This is another point I was going to make as well. So, with the trailer, with the blurb on IMDb, you know the story, but you don't know the storyline. how many films are like that before you see it, because most of it's new, isn't it? When you're watching it, most of the information you
Oh
get.
yeah.
You know
It's
what I
like
mean?
it's like
Like with Lord of the Rings or with other things, it's like they'll give you characters' names and what they've got to do. It's so vague until you watch it, and it's like it's so hard because everything you get the first time is brand new to you. You're like,
which again makes a lot of sense, because if you'd gone into this knowing a hell of a lot more, it probably would have had the same effect on you.
yeah, exactly.
So I genuinely cannot wait to watch it a second time.
Best bit of the film.
Okay, is this what
Best
go on, what categories have we not done yet?
I don't know if we're going to do that because it's just a rough idea of what going off. I think we've done it all.
Okay.
Favorite bit of the film for me is when Kenneth drops off the boat and twats his head on the thing and goes in the water. I want to know how they did that.
That was
it wasn't obviously Kenneth, was it? Imagine that.
That was
He rocked up to work on a Monday morning like, yeah, we couldn't afford a stunt double. We got no mannequins. So
that was just a mistake.
Off the boat.
Sam, it was just a mistake, and then he after the take's done, he gets out and makes that noise that Ryan Dunn makes when he's been shot with paintballs. Good fucking God! Like,
yeah.
like,
oh no! When Wee Man's got glue on his armpit.
Yeah, exactly. Just screaming. Well, I've got multiple favourite bits of that I can remember, and one of them is when you can hear the very angry, pissed off looking, I forget his name, Sator, is it?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Screaming at JDW. I'm calling Weatherspoons now because his initials are JDW. He's screaming at Weatherspoons through a window, saying, "Where the fuck is that piece of the device?"
Oh, and he's on the phone.
No. When he's in the blue side and he's on the chair in the red side and he's got his wife.
I was lost at that point completely.
So he's speaking in backwards because he's been inverted. Yeah.
I thought I was hearing it wrong. I thought, mate,
he's speaking inverted because he's backwards. He's in the inverted timeline, and through that radio device, it translates it to forward speak, so he can understand it. So he says, "Where's the device? Where did you put it?" And JDW says, "In the glove box," but he lies. He says in the glove box, and as soon as he said that, the red door opens and he comes out. Sator in real time goes, "Fucking light, where is it?" He's like, "I've just told you," but he's like been and checked in the future and come back and the bollocks because it weren't there. It's amazing. It's like
most of my problems with this is that I can't, like, you've just obviously not guessed but worked out what happened there. I'm not clever enough to guess with confidence of what happened there because to me that's like he's got a brother and he looks the same. No.
Do you understand what they mean by entropy though at the start?
Entropy is it's just I just thought of Muse when I had entropy, to be honest.
It's more of a
going forward.
It's not so much. It's
just explain to me. I don't know.
It's a thermodynamic principle thing in physics where.
Did you know a lot about it before?
Yeah, I'd heard of it. Yeah. It's to do with one of the theories on how the universe is going to end. So, in very, very simple terms, you know how the universe is largely the Big Bang, everything just goes apeshit in every direction. Yeah.
Yeah, it's slowly expanding all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, but everything's going apeshit in one linear frame of time that way. Yeah. Entropy being the craziness, the unpredictability, all going that way. What they're basically saying is they're reversing that flow. So everything that's propagated forward would turn around and unpropagate and go backwards and would end up undoing everything that's ever happened and blowing up and killing everybody.
Yeah. Literally mirror. Like.
Pretty much, I think. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it doesn't make sense from a scientific point of view. Like when the car blew up and it iced up on the inside, that wouldn't happen because...
That's just them fucking about. That's just... it's Nolan's film, isn't it?
It's a gimmick. It's a gimmick. But what would happen would be like a bloody... what's it called? a feedback loop where it's just taking more and more and more and more heat from that one crash and it blow the whole planet up. It's like that bit from Scary Movie where that guy can't pull his pants up, like everything's just backwards. You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
I just thought of like, when he's driving, it's like the friction's reversed, so it's not got no grip and it's all slippy, like everything's just backwards. Funny as fuck if he just went through like a bus stop and killed like 8 people.
Yeah, sorry, not used to it. Yeah.
He's just got like some old lady's wig in his grill for the rest of the car chase.
Yeah, well, the thing about the thing going backwards, it brought so many skit ideas to mine and Dom's head. We just, on the drive home, we were like, we could do a skit like you just at home with your mate, and it's like, do you want to go to the shop? We need something for tea, don't we? He's like, tea? We've already had tea. Like, just living with someone who's going backwards.
Inverted.
Yeah.
You'll go like, yeah. I think Kenneth Branagh should win Best Oscar for an actor in this film, even though he's a supporting actor. Actually, no, he should win for supporting actor because not only did he have to learn to speak backwards for the role, because Nolan employed them all to learn how to speak backwards, as well as being able to play the forward-speaking backwards. He had to learn how to speak backwards, but with a Russian accent, and that's something I can't do.
And another thing, a lot of people can't do is when you get the baddies. His Russian accent was everyone's Russian accent if you were told to be a baddie, which is right, which is fair. But it didn't take me out of the film, and I reckon 9% of actors working today, if they did that accent, I would be like, yeah, it's just shit. I bought it. He sold it.
I bought that he could have been from Russia feasibly, whereas you've got John Malkovich in Rounders as Teddy KGB, who's like, I splash the pot whenever I fucking want. And it's like, you've just gone, this is Russian. It's not right.
I can tell you, like, as American as possible. Like, just
exactly, mate.
But isn't Kenneth, like, trained AF in acting?
He's a thespian, mate. He does all stage stuff. He's like, does Hamlet. Thespian. It's like, it's a Vesper, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It's not even a car, it's from GTA. It's not even a real car. I'm pretty sure I know the word, and I know it's to do with Shakespearean theatre actors. I think it's just theatre actors.
When I hear that, I'm like, that man can do anything.
Yeah, relating to drama and theatre. Yeah, which is why you don't see him in that many films, because he's just absolutely he just canes it in the stage world. But
and now he's best pals with Nolan, isn't he? Which is. Would you argue that Nolan's the best working filmmaker today?
I wouldn't argue. It's a fact.
Yeah.
There's no. The only person close is Villeneuve.
Yeah.
Denis Villeneuve with Arrival, Sicario, Dune, all that sort of shit. Blade Runner. He's the only person who comes close in my mind. But in terms of capability, in terms of mindset, in terms of every other tangible fucking like criteria you can measure, he is far and away the best. Absolutely far and away the best. The fact that he's still like probably in his 50s now, we've got like another 3 or 4 films out of him in his prime, is scary to me. Like, where the hell do you go from here?
Do you think he'll ever dabble in TV?
He might produce a couple of things, but no. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like streaming platforms. He doesn't like TV. He doesn't. He's going to be the one who saves the cinema.
Big screen geezer, isn't
he? He's going to try and single-handedly, because he wants to rework the cinema, because you know, like you go to the cinema now and it's 40 minutes of adverts and trailers and stuff. He's convinced that's going to, I think I could be misquoting him here, but I think he thinks that's going to kill the industry, because people are going to go, fuck this, let's watch on Apple TV or Netflix at home or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why. That's the reason why he does it in IMAX. That's the reason why he refused about 8 times during lockdown to say, yes, just put it on video demand straight away to get some money in. No, it should be being seen on the big screen. I'm not losing this platform.
There's not many causes that I will put my life behind, but that's one of them.
Hence why I got a hot dog, beer and crisps and everything at the cinema, because they make their margins of profit are highest on concessions. So that's why I paid for the premium seat, and I got a hot dog, and I got my beer, and they probably made about £5 out of me. But if everyone does that,
I love cinema. Cinema, I'm glad it's back. I hope it doesn't go to pot and goes back in lockdown again.
No. Anyway.
It's just part of my life.
Yeah. I can't see Nolan having the same get up and go about making films if all cinema's short, but that's not going to happen. But that's basically why he does it. His game is to make people like me and you go, fucking hell. Not have it on in the background while reading to you at home.
Okay.
But we will leave that there because I'm about to fall asleep, as you can really tell.
100%.
So I think what we need to do here to do this film justice is let it sort of, not what's the word when you put chicken in sauce and go to bed.
Marinade.
Let it marinade. We
you,
do.
you have to go to bed, otherwise it ain't marinated.
No, it just doesn't count. We need to get our heads together, Sam, and do a bit more of a not an explained but an hour interpretation, because the explained won't cover 2/4 of it. But
I know exactly what this needs. We need to gather up the boffins. Come on, Tom, this is big talk. We really bang our heads together on this one. Tenet, go.
what like how many pieces of this need? Oh, no,
how many pieces, Tom? Tom.
Yeah. How many pieces of the algorithm do we need to get this sorted? Leonard.
Yeah.